Imagine trying to force on a pair of jeans that no longer fit. Well, that's exactly how I felt, and that's why I decided to change my name from DIY Dose to Torera George. Hey guys, you're welcome again to my channel, but this time around, it's no longer DIY Dose, it's now Torera George. So I decided to change my name on all platforms to Torera George. My website is now torerageorge.com, and you might ask me why. In fact, when I made a big announcement on Instagram, everyone was asking, why did you decide to change the name? And other people knew that, you know, Torera, it was about time that you changed this name anyway. So today I'm going to be answering a lot of the questions that you guys asked me on my Instagram page, which is now Torera George. And I'm going to group it into 3 different categories: my rebrand, my life, and the life advice that you guys asked me. So you're going to check below in the description. There's going to be a timestamp on all the different types of questions. So I grouped your questions into 3 different places. I'm going to start with questions on the rebrand and why I decided to change my name. So my name is Torera. The full thing is Ade Torera, which means my crown is worth showing off. And for a long time, I have run this channel and blog called DIYDose.com, but it got to a point in my life where I decided that, you know what? It's time for a change. I felt like I had outgrown DIY Dose, because as much as I love DIY, I felt like my purpose was much more bigger than that. What plans do you have for your channel? Oh my God, I have so many plans. There's so much I want to do, but just know that it's going to be living authentically, how to live a more authentic life, how to live intentionally and live authentically. So I'm going to be sharing tutorials, DIY tips, tricks, hacks. Gosh, I have so much planned. Like, the content ideas I wrote are almost about 100. So stay tuned. I have so much in store. What made you decide to start blogging or DIY? I remember one of my earliest memories of DIY was when my sister and I shared a bunk bed, and I turned my own bunk bed into like a mini sanctuary. So I created like a curtain from the fabric that I bought in the market, and then I put CDs at the top so that it would flicker in lights. It was crazy. And then I put pictures all over the wall. It was my mini sanctuary. That was one of my earliest memories. I was always toying with things, tearing people's clothes, trying to make things with it. So I'd always been creative in that sense, and that's why I started DIY Dose. And I remember there was one particular day I was in the house and I heard God talk to me, and he told me to start a blog. So that's actually one of the main reasons that I started DIY Dose. How has your environment affected the way you approach or think or share about your brand? Would you have made this decision if you were Torera of 6, 8, 10 months ago? What triggered the decision? To be honest, moving to London has actually changed the way I feel about a lot of things. My work ethic is 10 times, in fact 100 times better than it used to be. So I've been exposed to a different standard of doing things, mingling with people who are in this space as well, and it just triggered, I think that's what triggered that decision. So let's move on to questions about my life. Okay, so it says, how are you adjusting to life over there? Oh my God, I prefer it. The fact that I can wake up and decide to film a video without thinking of whether or not NEPA is going to take the light, or I have to plan it at a time where there'll be uninterrupted power. Because at my old place in Lagos, I had to put the generator outside my window. So of course, that meant that if I had to film a video, the sound of the generator would seep into my videos. But it was crazy. So not having to think about basic things like basic life, basic infrastructure is a blessing. How is married life? Being married, it's like a mirror. You see yourself a lot more clearly. Like, a lot of the bad habits and faults in quotes that you have, I feel like marriage makes you see those faults even more clearly. So if you don't like what you see in this mirror, that's why some people might want to exit, because they don't like what they see and they're not willing to admit to themselves that they don't like what they see. So I feel like marriage is a life of giving, it's a life of loving. It's very fulfilling, it's a lot of work, but sometimes it also forces us to adjust the things that are not wrong, but the things we need to change about ourselves. So that's the way I see it. What did you study in uni, and what uni? So I studied English literature at Babcock University. It was a Seventh-day Adventist university in Nigeria. I feel great when you reply my DMs and respond on your page too. Why do you think other public figures don't? Ooh, this is a very difficult one. Now, because of the kind of job that we do, life casting, pretty much, lifestyle, and we share our lives, a lot of the time people feel like they're connected to us and they almost feel like we're friends, right? Now, because of that, you get a lot of DMs, a lot of messages from people. Sometimes you have to deal with almost 50 messages at the same time. The average person dealing with 50 different messages, 50 different requests might feel overwhelmed. So I think that people should kind of cut maybe public figures or celebrities some slack a little bit, because sometimes it can be overwhelming, especially when you lead a very busy life. Now, for the average person who might not have a huge following, I don't have such a huge following, and that's why I might be able to respond to every single one. And it's something that I even want to make the effort, no matter how many followers I have, I want to make the effort to respond to people, because I feel like that kind of thing counts. But the truth is, not everyone has that time. A lot of time people are dealing with so much in their lives. They're dealing with work, they're dealing with having to run their channels, they're dealing with so much. So it might not be easy for them to respond to every single message. I hope I answered your question, but I'll respond to your message. What fuels you? What are you passionate about? Ooh, it's my passion to make a difference in both my family and the world in general. There's so many charity projects, so many beautiful things that I want to do, and that's my passion, you know. As much as I love DIY, the underlying passion is wanting to make a big difference in the world. Do you have a day job? Yes, I do. Although I'm in between jobs at the moment, so I'm switching jobs. Yes, so yes, I do have a day job. I work during the day, and at night I work on my blog and YouTube channel. I don't know what to post as a new YouTuber. Please help. Okay, so the question is, what do you like? What do people compliment you on? What questions have people asked you to answer for them? Start with that. If you're good at writing, for instance, why don't you start sharing tips on writing? If you're good at, whatever you're good at, start sharing. I feel as a new YouTuber, you should share something you're passionate about and that you have expertise on. In between, you would find what your niche is supposed to be. So whatever you're passionate about, what you're an expert in, and what you feel like people need. And I understand that as a new YouTuber, you might not be able to figure out what people need. But my advice to you is to keep putting out content that you have a little bit of expertise on, or some experience that you've been through. Have you been through motherhood and you wish that some people knew about that kind of thing? Start putting out content like that and see what people gravitate towards. Whatever they gravitate towards, now start consistently putting content in that area. So for instance, you could share something about, maybe you have expertise in writing, and you have expertise in motherhood, and you're really passionate about the two. Start putting out stuff about writing, start putting out stuff about motherhood, and see which one gets more views over time, and then focus your effort on that. What is your camera setup like? Ooh, okay. My camera setup is pretty much just in the living room. I'm here with one light, window light, my camera in front of me, and my microphone is not working at the moment, so I'm using my phone to record sound. So yes, that's what my camera setup is like. I need to upgrade my camera setup. I imagine not everything you love is monetizable. How do you learn to find a balance? This is a question I actually get a lot, because like me, a lot of people are multi-potentialites. That means they have multiple passions. So you might like a lot of things, like different things. And I understand that. Some things you love, some things you make money from. Some things are for love, you do them. Some passions are for love, and some are for money. You see, the best part is when the thing you love can make you money and they intersect, but it doesn't always happen that way. So find areas where you know that there's a track record of making money from those areas. Focus your effort on those things and do the things that you love for passion, right? Because they keep you as a well-rounded human being. There's some things that I really like to do, but I'm not making money from, and that's okay. I have a full-time job, because this passion of mine, which is sharing my gifts and talent with the world, hasn't gotten to a level where I can monetize it fully, like full time. But I want to get there. So I'm doing something that is earning me money. I'm translating my skills that I've learned over time to make me money. And then I'm still pursuing my passion, because even if I wasn't paid for doing this, I would still do it. So that's how you find the balance. It's great when what you love can bring you money, and it's great when the things that you love, can provide for your needs. But it's better when they intersect. But even if they don't, do it to keep you well-rounded. I really hope I answered that question. So how do you stay confident? We all know there are dry spells when it comes to being bold and self-assured. What's the key for you? Confidence. This is an area where I know that I could also work on. I could work on my confidence in certain areas. I have a friend, and I told her recently, I was like, gosh, you are so confident. You can walk into a room and talk to anybody. And I really like that. But you see, I feel like confidence comes from knowing. See, if I am a math genius and I know how to solve math problems, am I not going to be confident? So I think confidence comes from knowledge. Learn more about the field that you're in. Learn more about the subject matter that you want to grow your confidence in. For instance, you want to stay abreast of the news. Read the news daily. Make sure that it's popping up on your feed. Follow people who share the news. If you know the news, you're going to be confident in a place where they're talking about world events and politics and things like that. Do you understand? Confidence comes from knowledge. So learn and you increase your confidence. How do you deal with failure and fear? When you fail, pick yourself up. I know it sounds so cliche, but I have done so many things that have failed. I've started a business that failed. I've started an event that failed. But you see, that failure is the drive to want to do more. And I really hope, it sounds really simple. I really hope that answers your question. Let that failure be the driving force for your future efforts. Simple as that. And the final question is, what advice do you have for an upcoming blogger? What advice do I have? I have a lot of advice. Remember that it's a full-time job. Remember that it's going to take your effort. It's going to take your time. You're going to have to sacrifice your hangouts. You're going to have to sacrifice your Netflix shows. Yes, because you want to be a blogger. So if you want to do this, you can try it out, but always know your why. That's my biggest advice. Know your why. You have to know why you're doing it. Why do we need a blog like yours? What unique perspective or angle do you have to share that someone else hasn't shared before? So ask yourself these questions. Why am I starting a blog? What's my motive? If your motive is just for money, it's going to be a very frustrating experience because you're not going to see the rewards immediately. And trust me, even when you see the rewards, there are times in the future where you're going to have to turn down certain opportunities. You're going to have to turn down money because of your integrity. So make sure that your why, the reason for starting a blog, is strong. It's to actually do something good. Money is a good motivation, and it's great to be able to make money off of what you love. But trust me, if you want to start blogging, start with why. So I really hope I was able to answer a lot of your questions. I hope you support me on this new venture called Torera George. I hope you hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so that you know when a video comes up. I post every Thursday. I haven't posted in a few weeks because I was trying to rebrand and change direction. So I really hope you guys support me on this. I love you guys so much. Thank you for your support so far. Mwah. Bye.